How do you measure greatness? That is a very key question that I've always wanted to sort of get the answer to. Not just in everyday life, not just in, say, football players or anything. I'm going to use this gameplay in the background as a prime example because that's the whole subject matter of this commentary. But I want to ask, how do you measure greatness? Now let's talk of Call of Duty players. How would you measure a great player? Would it be somebody like Sandy Ravage or Optic Midnight or whatever? You know, one of these professional players, one of these esports players that people watch and say, oh my god, these guys are awesome, the way they work in a team, they, you know, they die a lot but they get to the objective and they work hard to get that, you know, to get that necessary win. Now I know you guys are probably going to think that I'm going to talk about myself and say, well look at me, you know, a spoiler, this gameplay in the background is a 44 for 1. I'm going to talk about how great I am. Not by any stretch of the imagination would I say that I was the best player in this game right now. Because there is one man, a guy on the other team called Shakeable Potato. I know, yes, I don't know where these people come up with these names and how a potato can be shakeable. Can you shake a potato? I suppose you can, but it doesn't rattle, it doesn't make any noises, it just sits in the palm of your hand with a starchy firmness. I don't know, but yeah, Shakeable Potato. This guy, I would say, is one of the greatest players I've played against. And funny enough, he actually ends the game 6 for 31. So how would I measure him as a great player? Well, let me talk about this gameplay. Obviously, it's a Black Ops 2 gameplay, it's on carrier, and when I started this game, I first of all thought, oh, this is going to go one of two ways. It's, you know, one of two ways that carrier can go. It's either going to be a fantastic gameplay, one of my best gameplays that I've captured, because all my best gameplays seem to be on either carrier or on standoff. So it's either going to be one of those, or it's going to be a sniper fest, and I'm going to end up getting frustrated, throwing the controller and turning it off, and bailing out like a pussy. And then I looked at my team and I noticed everybody was of a very low rank, you know, all green ranks pretty much apart from one. And there was also some split screeners on our team, so I thought, yes, it's going to be one of those games. Oh well, I'll try and see it through as best as I possibly can. Now, I was very close to losing this entire gameplay and not being able to post it right now. And the reason was because every other person on the opposite team buggered off. They left because I was doing so well and I was causing so much mayhem and damage with my streaks and my gun and my sense of awareness. You know, I was on fire. I was really pleased with how I was playing. It was one of those games where you think, I feel invincible. This is going to be a good game and it's going to keep being a good game, and I don't feel like I could die. I think I could really pull this one out the bag and get a perfect gameplay. Everybody on the other team pissed their pants and left with tears in their eyes like a young boy who's been discovered by his father in his bedroom, reading his dad's porno mags, drinking his beer, and wearing his slippers, by all accounts. It was the slippers that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Fuck the beer and porn, do not wear my slippers. But yeah, everybody bailed, everybody left, they couldn't deal with it, it was too frustrating. I'm not staying here and getting damaged this much, I can't do anything, I can't move out my spawn. But one man stayed and kept the spirit of his team alive, and I want to give him full respect. I know he went 6 for 31, who cares, you know, he stayed, he managed to fight an entire team against every odd that was stacked against him, against all the kill streaks that I was throwing up in the air. He stayed and he stuck it out and he didn't have to. You just don't come across players like that anymore, you know, I don't even know if I would have stayed. I think once upon a time I've been in a very similar situation. And it was before I was doing YouTube. I've mentioned before, you might remember I mentioned I played against Wings of Redemption and a whole bunch of the Hupert community, or Hupt, or whatever it is, H-U-P-T, I don't know what the fuck it means. But yeah, I was playing against a whole team of them on Black Ops. And as you would imagine, Wings of Redemption was sort of camping, and they were all camping in a room with claymores and tack insertions and all sorts of things. It was a very annoying game, and they were continuously calling in streaks, chopper gunners, dogs, VSATs, chopper gunners, dogs, and oh, it was blackbirds, beg your pardon, chopper gunners, dogs and blackbirds constantly. Now my team all pissed off, they all left, they couldn't deal with it, it was too frustrating. Every time you went in, you know, went up the stairs to try and get one, there was one lying at the top of the stairs, so as soon as you killed him and got so far up, there'd be another one in the corner waiting for you. If you tried to flank them or climb through a window, there'd be a claymore sitting there. It was the most annoying campfest I've ever played in my life, and I lost a lot of respect for Wings of Redemption after that gameplay, and I ended up hating him quite a bit. and you know, a few times I've been a bit spiky about him in commentaries, but as a sort of back turn, I've watched a couple of his commentaries recently, and especially the discussion about Biblical Reaper, where he actually made me really laugh, and I realised he's quite an intense, intelligent person. But I know everybody might not agree with that, but that was just me. But I was the last man standing. I stuck it out and I tried my hardest, and to be fair, there was a couple of guys on the other team, not Wings himself, but a couple of other people who messaged me after saying, I really didn't know, I just don't know how you stuck that out, fair play to you. And I got damaged, I got ruined, but nothing to the extent that this guy did. This shakeable potato, 6 for 31, but he stuck it out and he stayed right until the final kill cam, and then he left. You know, it was just long enough to see himself get smoked for the very last time, and he left graciously. You know, I really wish I'd have sent him a friend request or a, you know, a message after, but I thought I'd do this video because it's a little bit more worldwide webby. Fist bump. Congratulations, fair play to you. It was a pleasure playing against you, it was a pleasure getting those streaks against you, but you actually showed me what the term means, cojones, balls. He had balls of steel. So yeah, I just don't know how many people would have stuck that out. I certainly know that I would have turned my console off with a cup of tea thrown at it and turned it off for good indefinitely. Apocalypse done.